Good to get it out with this test. But here's the reason why I gave you all this survey. I'm glad you guys are all honest with me, because every single student feels the exact same way as you. And that's important to recognize. You're not the only ones that are stressed about this. Everybody's stressed about this test. But what I'm hoping is that by the time you walk out today, your stress level comes down a little bit. There's no way to make it zero. I took the ACT as an adult 2 years ago just to see where my skills were at because I've been teaching it for so long. I was stressed. I already have my college degree. I've been teaching for years. So I still felt it. But what I want is I want to try to get you guys that are up here, that are really stressed and really overwhelmed, bring it down a little bit to where you feel like, okay, this is something I can manage. You still feel a little bit of pressure and all that, but not so much that it really is bugging you. So how much worry or concern you have about taking it, don't worry about the numbers. You all kind of gave me a pressure already. What's the biggest concerns people have about the test?
How much easier is it?
How much easier is it than the SAT? We'll talk about the ways that it's easier. In some ways it's a little bit harder, but we'll talk about that and how to manage that. So that's one great question. In what ways is it easier? What other concerns or questions? Like, what's the thing that's bugging you the most about the test?
Like not knowing something one year.
Right. Like just seeing something that I haven't
Like I've never
idea.
seen before.
Right. And honestly, it's going to happen. And again, the most important thing is knowing how to respond when you don't know. And so one of the things we'll talk about is using the process of elimination, when to move on and things like that. Okay, good. So not knowing things, how much easier it is. What about in terms of reading or English or math? What's people's biggest issue on the test? Math.
Reading.
Yeah, mine is reading.
The reading.
Yeah.
That's always what I hear is either it's one or the other. Reading is hard because you got to read so quickly, right? You got such limited time. The math is hard because sometimes you see stuff you don't even know, or you saw it like years ago and you forgot about it. So we'll talk about a little bit of each of those, and again, kind of in brief. But if you guys like the workshop and you want to do more and go more in depth, then we can plan more for the future. What you're hoping to get from the workshop, that kind of touched down there. Now, the reason I asked for personal strengths, sorry, I didn't get